30th of May, 1925. A taxi steers through the streets of Moscow towards a hospital beyond the walls of the Kremlin complex. Its passenger, Emmy, is a heavily pregnant German revolutionary. A surviving photograph of Emmy from this year captures her with dark hair tied up, a soft gaze directed into the camera. In the image, she's wearing a white shirt with a black tie loosely pulled around her collar. Unconventional dress for an unconventional woman. Soon, Emmy will hold her first daughter in her arms. Emmy will choose a family name for her, Elisa. Edo, the father, is not present as his daughter is born beyond the Kremlin walls. He is outside Soviet Russia. His role as leader of one of Europe's most important trade unions will afford him little time for a normal domestic life. It will be more than a decade before Edo and Emmy will finally spend an extended period together, following years of separation, compelled by their commitments to revolutionary politics and anti-fascist resistance. But all this still lies on the horizon, as the hospital staff working close to the former Palace of the Tsars help bring baby Elisa into the world. Initially, Emmy did not have a cab arranged, nor the funds to cover her medical care in Moscow. Her friend May, an Irish woman residing in the same hotel as Emmy, provided both as a favour. All that follows moves through and from this single moment. This is a story of international communism, refracted through a single kind gesture one woman performed for another at Moscow's Hotel Lux. It is a story that travels through the transit stations of Europe's 20th century: Moscow, Dublin, London, Paris, New York, and Berlin. 2. In the summer of 1973, almost half a century after she arrived in Moscow, then a revolutionary city, May O'Callaghan, a 92-year-old Irish communist, suffered a fatal blood clot and died in a North London nursing home. Shortly afterwards, Emmy Leonhard, an elderly revolutionary living by the banks of Lake Geneva, received the news of her friend's death. In the last years of her life, Emmy had seen little of the woman she knew by the nickname OC, yet her friend remained present in her mind as the content and ambitious woman she had first met in 1920s Moscow. With May's death, the curtain fell on a long period of Emmy's life. Working on her typewriter, Emmy composed a message to another old friend, Nellie Cohen, a retired secretary from an East London Jewish family who now lived in a gated community near London's Hampstead Heath. Emmy knew that Nellie's friendship with May ran even deeper than her own, stretching back to the suffrage struggle during the First World War. Beginning her letter with, "My dear Nellie," Emmy described how May's death was expected, yet deeply impactful. "It is a happy and great time of my life which ends with her," Emmy opened, before reciting different moments in their shared journey through the World Revolution. Writing to Nellie in the wake of May's death, Emmy spilled no ink on differences in revolutionary doctrine. Instead, she focused on cherished memories. Emmy could still recall her first lunch with May in the canteen of the Hotel Lux. "I remember how horrified she was by borscht, though she became accustomed to it later." The women had lived loudly and freely in Moscow, a city where their own ideals were reflected in the slogans upon the banners and posters they passed as they walked through the streets. In the Hotel Lux, a boarding house for the international revolutionary elite, they shared bedrooms, bathrooms, and breakfasts with the guiding lights of the radical world. In her letter to Nellie, Emmy remembered how another guest at the hotel, the future leader of the British Communist Party, a pure and well-behaved soul, was shocked by her and May's mischievous behaviour in the Soviet capital. So many of the dreams and catastrophes of the 20th century reverberated through the corridors of the Hotel Lux, where both women lived. Established during the closing act of the Russian Empire, history would soon be witnessed from the windows of the Lux,